Invincible,
Mm,
episode 6. Second
yes.
week since it's been back.
Yeah.
Does the break suck? Yes. Is this show still absolute fire? Yes.
Hmm.
I miss this show so much. I'm so glad it's back, and it sucks that it's going to be gone again so quickly.
Yeah. It sucks that we've not got many episodes and it's going to be gone again, like you say. It was a good episode. And it kicked off with Rex. Not
Yeah,
Rex.
yeah, Rex.
No, Rex, yeah.
Rex just tanking a bullet to the head
Yeah.
and getting up and continuing to kick his ass is one of the funniest and badass things we've ever seen. Because it's not even like he was serious after he got shot in the head. It like messed him a little bit, and he was a little bit like said, shut the fuck up.
I'll be honest, he got, like, obviously cuts to the scene where it left and it's just like, he's like, go on, do it. And he shoots him. And I'm like, huh, they really were that brutal and like left it on that cliffhanger for the fans that were hoping just to go and shoot him in the back of the head. And I was like, oh, that's pretty brutal of the showrunners. Wasn't expecting him to get up.
The worst thing is the promotion they did yesterday and today was
Mm.
they tweeted a character poster of Rex, and they went, "Oh, Rex has got a character poster now. I sure hope it doesn't go to his head."
Oh dear.
Fucking outrageous banter. I can't believe Shrink Ray survived.
Oh yeah, I know. I
That was
genuinely
crazy.
thought she was dead.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they also made that scene more brutal than the comic counterpart.
How did they?
So in the comic, he just grabs her and eats her,
Oh,
and she doesn't expand or try to expand.
yeah.
Which, by the sounds of it, at the time, people were a little bit like, her whole thing is she gets small and big. Surely she'd at least try to get big.
Right.
So I think that was kind of them addressing that. But they were like, well, no, she still needs to get eaten. So we'll just have a more brutal version where he tanks this and just
Yeah, she
holds her
passes
in.
out essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was surprised that she was still alive.
Then we were back on the spaceship where we left the gang.
Yep.
Which was a incredibly intense situation, which I mean, it really did just pick up where it left off with that, wasn't it? It was like
Yeah,
chaos, aliens.
it really did. And we got like, obviously, God, I'm forgetting everyone's name. Atomy was unconscious, and you've got Robot Boy
Yeah,
figuring
trying
out.
to make the machine.
Yeah. I liked how we saw, like, obviously it succeeds, and then we got like Invincible and uh Immortal have a little bit of a ego war over who should carry the thing.
You can tell Immortal's got a lot of resentment for Invincible purely because of his father still.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think this was like the first step in them mending that relationship slightly. But it's very
Yeah.
much like, I see you and all I can see is your father. So, like, I don't fucking like you.
Yeah, he just sees the person that murdered him.
Yeah.
I love the way that they kind of, Atom Eve and that, like, bubbled, and the way the camera for a split second showed you two of the little squid things crawling behind them, and it's like you don't get a chance to like process it, and then it
Process it, yeah.
cuts to everything. You're like, oh, success. And then it turns around and they're just both taken over. And let's be real, Atom Eve under control is a scary thought.
Genuinely harrowing. Genuinely harrowing.
Especially after what we know from her special or whatever.
Yeah, and there is also the consideration of there's a mental block on her powers.
Mm.
Would the Sequid be affected by that mental block, or could they use the full extent of her powers?
I reckon they could eventually bypass it.
So do I, which would be even more terrifying.
Yeah.
But they managed to deal with the Sequid problem.
Mm-hmm. They did.
I really enjoy. I don't know if I just found this funny because it was a bit like of the way it cut, but the Martian saying, "You can't leave with that traitor. You guys can go, but he's staying, and we're going to execute him because he destroyed our world."
Mm.
And Mark just going, "Understandable." and then the ship just like bursting out like a heist is so funny to me. I don't know why. The cutaway and someone like desperately trying to escape will never not be funny to me. It's one
Yeah,
of them tropes that I adore.
it was the way that it's like, oh, and what would the punishment be? And it's like, death, of course. It's like, yeah, understandable. And it's just like, boom, and they're running. And then I just love the way that they're trying to escape. And then Mark is just like, right, okay, open the airlock. And he literally, like, essentially casually just goes, boom, 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 and just destroys them and gets back in. And he's like, right, we can go home now.
Eve found that a bit too hot, in my opinion, but
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
yeah, she was definitely like, hey, wow, that's impressive.
The man has Riz.
Yeah, it's been really cool. I mean, Debbie's the GOAT.
Yes.
She got dumped with an alien child of her ex-husband who tried to kill her entire planet.
Mm-hmm.
And she's taken it like a champ. She's protecting the child from the federal government and raising it as her own. And
Yep.
she's not moaning about it. She's not bitching about it. She's just like, it's not the kid's fault. It's Mark's brother. Therefore, they
Yeah.
are also my family.
Yeah, I think she's like realized that it's not necessarily like she's looked past the fact it's Omni-Man's kid and what that means. And like, actually, this kid didn't choose that. It is Mark, like you say, it's Mark's brother. No one else is going to protect this kid. Like, I've already raised one Viltrumite. Surely I can just do it again. I know what I'm doing. And she knows, like, well, I raised Mark. He turned out all right. So maybe it's on me to make sure this one turns out all right too.
A worse job with Mark. Mark would have joined his father and become a murderous Viltrumite. Like, Debbie is truly the hero of this entire show.
Yeah.
I can't wait for us to get into like season 7. It turns out she's the main villain or some bullshit now.
I'm just looking forward to this kid growing up a bit more, and then it's like, another Viltrumite on Earth.
I've got a horrible feeling that
Oh.
Oliver dies a horrible death.
Oh no.
Because I'm just thinking, like, I've seen a lot of stuff in the future of this show,
Oh no.
and I've never really seen any reference to Oliver. But the speed he grows at and being Viltrumite, in my head, he would be like useful. So I'm really worried about Oliver. Because the kid's fucking cute. I don't want him to get hurt.
What if Immortal takes
I'll
his
just
anger out on?
maybe.
Who knows?
I will say the shot of Immortal sat in the morgue, surrounded by all of Duplicate's bodies, was like, in the worst way possible, such a cool shot.
Yeah, because it's actually something like kind of something I hadn't considered is that. Well, they're going to have to bury each one of those bodies because like they are each like it's not like they just vanish after and there's only one core one. I quite liked as well like how they showed that this hit harder for Immortal.
And I think that's almost like an imagery in that morgue scene. Because, yeah, he only lost one person, but because of the amount of corpses around him, it's like but look how much he lost physically.
Yeah.
Like the actual amount he lost.
Yeah. No,
I think that was a really interesting bit of imagery. And I definitely can see this leading down a kind of slide for Immortal where potentially things go a little bit bad there and we have a bit of a problem to deal with.
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw a little bit of that with how he reacted to Alan.
I love Alan so much.
He's so good. And like, he obviously, Immortal kind of realized himself when he got called out on like, oh shit, I did just start fighting this guy without any like being provoked or anything.
Yeah, he's just seen a big muscly alien outside of Earth and he's gone swinging.
Yeah. I love that Alan's trying to explain, like, he's like, oh yeah, it's our technology so we can talk in your heads. And then obviously Mark talks to him, and then Mark turns to Invincible to talk, and then Alan's like, yeah, this only works between me and you.
Yeah,
Like,
there's no
just let him
pass-through.
say the whole thing, and then was like, you're still talking to me, mate.
So funny. Alan looks like, I know he looked yoked last week when we saw him. He looked even bigger once you give him context of Immortal and Invincible
Yeah,
alongside him.
yeah. And when he like sat on the bed and it just instantly broke, and he's like, sorry.
Yeah. It's also the way Mark mentions how much bigger he is. He's like, you're bigger than the last time I saw you. He's like, yeah, apparently this is what happens when I nearly die.
Yeah, he's like, when I nearly die fighting Viltrumites. And then there's like no question. Mark's not like,
Yeah.
wait, what? You fought Viltrumites or anything?
I mean, with the last couple of weeks Mark's had, he's
Yeah,
probably
true.
not surprised. He's
True.
like, yeah, no, that tracks, I guess. Get beaten half to death, muscles. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger has never been so literal.
Yeah, that's a good point. I loved when he started reading the books as well, Mark, and then obviously he comes to show them. I was like, these feel like they're going to be Omni-Man's way of actually just, these are things he's done over the years, and they
Yeah.
are real things. Obviously, people on Earth wouldn't believe that. So they're sci-fi stories. And then when Alan's like, yeah, no, he's just got a different name, but this is a very real legendary guy. I mean, as far as legendaries go.
Yeah. It's really interesting because it changes kind of what we know about Omni-Man. Was he
Mm.
writing these books based on true story because he thought, oh, the humans won't know these stories and it'll be easy for me to make money and then I don't have to worry about it? Or was he not that sure about the Viltrumites when he arrived on Earth and he was building up a backup plan?
Well, we don't know how long he was on Earth before he wrote them. So
Yeah.
maybe it started to have a shift. But then I think they are stories from like him as a Viltrumite going to different planets, liberating them, doing different things. He's learned, found things like, oh, this was harder to beat than normal. And then as his mindset shifted, he's gone, hang on a second. These were things that were really difficult for me to succeed. There's some use of knowledge here for if we.
So you think he was just telling his stories, but as he's then pivoted, he's realized if you use that information, you can work out what's good against Viltrumites.
Yeah, he's like sort of come to realize, wait, these are technically my weak things I've struggled with. And if I in him, probably a bit of ego of being like, I'm the strongest Viltrumite, and these were difficult things for me to beat. Good to know, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um, but
It's
yeah.
definitely really interesting, especially the scene of Nolan in prison at the end.
Mm,
It's so interesting to get like that glimpse into Viltrumite society,
yeah.
where they're like, "You were one of our best. You went around. You conquered so many planets for us. Don't let your great Viltrumite story end as a traitor."
Yeah, and they're like, oh, this planet called Earth must be toxic if it was able to change our best Viltrumite.
I guess that's kind of like obviously we don't agree with like their philosophy naturally,
Mm,
but you can kind of see in a society where they think they are so much superior to everyone else and they're so much better than everyone else, and
mm-hmm.
this person has lived for this long and they've conquered these hundreds of planets, what in your guys' lifespan seems like a fraction of a second
Yeah.
of being on this planet, he's like completely 180'd.
Mm.
I can imagine that would be
It yeah,
in a way
from
almost harrowing.
from their point of view, he's basically been radicalized overnight. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's not a good place then.
Yeah, what has happened? What, like, pardon the pun, Earth puss that good?
I mean, clearly so.
um, but yeah, no, it's crazy, and I'm really interested. I hope we get to see soon more of the Viltrumite society to get a better idea of like how they function. Because yeah, we know they had the Great Purge and they killed off all the weak Viltrumites, so only the strong could remain. But what does the Viltrumite Empire actually look like now? How does it
Mm.
work? Really
I
curious.
I wouldn't be surprised if before the end of the season or by the end of the season, Omni-Man's like they arrive back at the home planet for his trial, and we kind of get a glimpse of what that place is like, sort of like a setup to be like, this is the force that's coming to Earth, and get us worried about, oh shit, they're gonna have to fight this.
Yeah.
Um,
Because right now we've got like a resistance of like 2.5 Viltrumites and an Alan the alien.
yeah, an absolutely yoked alien that might be able to fight a Viltrumite now. We don't know.
Might be. I don't. I've got a feeling that Alan dying and coming back stronger is going to be like a recurring theme.
Yeah,
Which, if that is the case, I want to see him after like 9 more deaths just to see how comically large he gets.
just gets absolutely shredded.
Yeah. Seth Rogen's voice for Alan the alien is still one of the
So
best decisions made. He
oh,
works so well.
it works perfectly for that character, and the way like in the moment it's like, oh, basically I forget the boss's name, but it's like he's gonna be so mad at me if
Thaddeus.
Thaddeus is gonna be so mad when I come back empty-handed.
I wouldn't want to disappoint Optimus Prime, would you?
No, that's a good point.
It's also curious to see how Amber and Mark's relationship is dissolving.
Yeah, and we
Because
kind of
neither
we
of
talked
them,
about this last week, I think, and
yeah,
we knew it was
because
coming.
it's really interesting. Because, like we said, Amber's not anti him being a hero. In fact, she loves the fact that
Mm.
he's willing to put himself in danger to help people. And she would never ever want him to stop being a hero because that's what makes him him. But at the same time, being in love with a superhero is fucking hard. They're
Yeah,
gone for long periods of time. They're always in danger. When duty calls, everything gets dropped, including you.
and Mark even knowing like his point of view, he's feeling bad because he keeps ditching her, and then he's also like, we hated it when my dad just would up and leave, but we also felt guilty that we couldn't say anything because he was off saving the world.
Yeah,
It's like he knows how Amber's feeling because he felt that, but then he's feeling it's like they're both just like feeling guilty when really they just need to talk and be like, look, either it's they both need to just talk about, look, it's okay for you to be feeling how you do, and then decide if it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work out.
I'm not going to say too much because I know how that
Oh, okay.
goes. But yeah, massive shocker. The takeaway is if you're in a relationship, talk to your partner, and you
Yeah,
can work
I
out what's
loved the
best for
bit
both of you.
when Eve was just like, well, the question is, if you're concerned you're not seeing him enough, and he's now back on Earth for a while, why are you here not with him?
Yeah,
Which is actually a really good question. Like, why are you two avoiding each other?
yeah. What are we doing here, ladies and gentlemen?
Um,
Um,
I
I
thought
am
when go on.
I am really curious to see where we end this season because obviously
Mm.
nothing major is getting wrapped up this season with only 2 episodes left. They are definitely going to leave us on a massive cliffhanger for season 3, and I'm just really curious to see what else progresses in different storylines before that happens.
Well, yeah, there's going to be a cliffhanger because also the thing at the end of this episode was Mr. Time Travel Boy is on his way back, suited and booted. We know, going off your theory with the title screen, which also this week, I love that it was Rex that triggered it when
Yeah,
he was like, I was almost feeling.
yeah. You know me, I'm basically
We're obviously going to get the reveal of that suit. So I feel like something needs to happen for that to happen.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just teasing that suit or if we'll get it at the end of this season. Because
I
I don't
think
have the context around that suit. All I know is once he gets that suit is when shit gets real.
I wonder if. I think there's going to be some reason he gets that suit. I also, there's so many, like you said, there's so many things going on. None of them feel close enough to wrapping up in the next 2 episodes.
And we've still got a lot to go as well. We've still got whoever Josh Keaton's character is. We've still got your vampire-y, invincible-looking boy with the cape from the mid-season trailer. Like, there's still a lot of things to happen over the next few weeks. I'm genuinely really curious how batshit crazy the next 2 episodes are going to be.
Well, considering how season 1 ended,
yes,
I do worry. You said about what if this season ends with something happening to Oliver? What if
maybe that's why he gets the new suit, and that's why he goes like maybe a bit darker. Oh shit! Oh, you might be right. That's plausible.
And that would be a hell of a way to end and leave everyone just waiting.
Yeah, that's one way to make Mark a lot more brutal. Viltrumites turn up and kill his baby brother.
Or Time Travel Boy turns up
and kills his baby brother.
To be like, oh, you care about this thing? Yeah, it's not looking good.
It's not looking good, bruv. Do you know what is looking good, though?